All right, so I got a question for you. Would you rather be super high net worth, be worth tens of millions of dollars, or would you rather have substantial cash flow coming in every year? Maybe $1 million a year passively or $500,000 a year passively. Well, I've had over 1,500 one-on-one phone calls with investors about their investments. Basically, I had the chance to interview this many millionaires, and it's really interesting because this question comes up: is cash flow more important? Is appreciation more important? Or would you really rather be at a place of high net worth or high cash flow? And I have a pretty strong opinion about this. It may not be necessarily what everybody believes, but I want to share it with you because I think it's really, really important. So let's jump in. All right, so thanks for joining us. My name is Bronson Hill. I'm the CEO of Bronson Equity. We do multifamily and other alternative investments like oil and gas, ATM machines, and other things. If you haven't joined our investment club, you can check it out at the bottom. We're doing some amazing deals. Check that out. But I want to jump into this. I want to give a quick disclaimer. I'm not your investment advisor, so obviously make your own investment decisions. But let's compare real quick. What would you do if you could have a choice of being super high net worth, let's just say $100 million, or you knew you were going to have cash flow of maybe, I don't know, $2 or $3 million a year or whatever would be, something equivalent. Like, what would you rather have? Would you rather be high net worth or cash flow, right? I was going to get the whiteboard out and show you everything, but I'm not going to do that because I just think it's good to talk about, right? So high net worth, when I think about that, I think about, you have the ability to own houses and jets and boats and all kinds of things. And I have friends I know that have planes and jets and things, and it's great. They have the ability to have high net worth and be able to travel and have a lot of flexibility. But, let's say you had a high net worth, but you didn't have any cash flow, right? So there's no cash flow, so you're living off of what you have, and you're seeing that kind of diminish over time. So that kind of assumes that maybe you are just in very conservative investments, you don't have the skills to invest, to develop cash flow, but you have a lot of money, right? Maybe you inherited a lot of money or things like that. And we see that, this is actually a great example, right? When you think about the lottery, I always think about these scenarios, right? Maybe you think about this too. If I won the lottery, how would I do this? Whatever. Well, there's a story I want to share, and this happens in August 2022. There was a Powerball winner that had reached 206.9 million, and there was a single winning ticket that was sold in Pennsylvania. And most people actually opt to take a lump sum payment when they win. So they don't get the full 206 million. They get 122.3 million would have been this amount. So it would have been 122 million versus 206. They get a lot less. Plus, they also have to pay a lot of taxes, right? So they're probably to pay about half that money in taxes. So they're walking away with about 60 million. Well, not bad, but not 206 million. So the winner could also have opted for annualizing their payout and receive the full 206 million over 29 years. Now, there's a question about inflation, and there's other kind of considerations here, but I'd love to know from you, even in the comments, would you take the money? Would you take the 60 million now after taxes, or would you take the 206 million and be able to take it over time and figure out a way to structure it over 30 years? I want to kind of jump into this because I think it's really important. But so high cash flow, if you think about this, let's just say your living expenses are 10K a month or 20K a month for you to live really well, or 100K a month, right? Cash flow is nice because it pays for your lifestyle, right? I actually know somebody who's making over $1 million a year just in cash flow in their investments. And it's awesome because they can live however they want. They can buy stuff, money accumulates, they do other things, but they honestly just keep investing more. They have more than what they need. But it's this idea that your money goes out and it comes back with many more friends, right? So you work, but your money is actually working for you. And if you're a high earner, a lot of times really a good question to ask yourself is, are you doing the time for money trade? So again, I had a couple of physicians I worked with that were, making literally over $2-3 million a year each, but they were working 60 to 80 hours a week, and they could not get paid if they didn't go to work. So if you are making a lot of money, it's important to think about how can you develop some of these cash flow streams that actually your money is making money for you. So this is kind of what I think is, with high cash flow, you live well, but maybe you can't buy a jet, right? Or maybe you can't buy everything you want or buy all the houses, but your expenses are covered because you have this cash stream, right? So you may not feel rich, but you can live well. So again, comes down to preference. You may say, hey, I'd just rather have all the stuff and I don't really care. But for me, this is kind of the second point here is give me cash flow. I would much rather have cash flow. Going back to the lottery example, give me 29 payouts over that amount of years. I'll find a way to structure it, find a way to reduce taxes, find a way to just live off of that over the years and have some sort of annuity stream. And then what it really allows me to do is live the lifestyle I want to live, and also be able to reinvest and do other things with that money and grow. So, but there's this idea, actually Tim Ferriss, when he came out with his book, The 4-Hour Work Week. If you haven't read this book, it's a classic. And basically, he said, there's kind of the old rich. In the beginning of the first chapter, he talks about the old rich, where you had all these gaudy things and you had all this stuff and everything. And he said the new rich is just maybe you live more modestly, or you have these certain experiences that you want to have. And with cash flow, you're able to do all those things. Right now, you don't even have to own a great house. I don't own a house overseas or own a house in Hawaii or whatever, because I can go rent. I can go do Airbnb. I can go to all these places, and it's not that expensive, which is really awesome. So, really, how do you grow your cash flow? And I think the first thing we talk about at Bronson Equity a lot is we talk about your rat race number. If you've played the book or played the game Cash Flow 101, I actually have it on the shelf behind me over here, Cash Flow 101, it basically talks about whatever your occupation is in this game, that's the number you need to cover, right? And so if somebody's a physician, they have a lot of expenses, maybe it's $100K a year they have to cover. Maybe somebody lives more modestly and it's only $50K. So for me, when I was getting ready, I wanted to quit my job in less than a few years. I just had to find a way to find $50, $60K a year to cover my kind of basic, modest, with some travel, living expenses, and then eventually my expenses went up, whatever. But I was able to cover that number, and that allowed me to get out of the rat race. So I got to choose: do I want to go to work or do I not want to go work? I could basically do it on my terms, which is huge. So this is why learning how to grow cash flow is so important. And that's why I look at some situations where a family member, maybe kids or a spouse, inherits tens or hundreds or millions or billions or whatever amount of money, and they don't really know how to handle it. They haven't really been trained in how to develop cash flow, what cash flow looks like. They just think, oh, I have this money, so again, I'm going to spend it, I'm going to give it, whatever, but it's kind of a finite amount. But if you can find out ways and learn a way to grow cash flow, that's really awesome. So that's what we really do at our investment club as well. So we do, multifamily deals. We've been doing car washes, ATMs. We have this oil and gas deal. We've been doing different things to try to develop more cash flow. So the question comes, okay, Bronson, that's great, but how do I, in my situation, in my life, how do I get more cash flow? And I think that is an awesome question. And I had this revelation when I was working medical sales. I was making $200K a year. I was working 30 hours a week, but I wanted to find a way to grow, because I realized it was still a time for money trade for me. And I had a revelation that, man, if I just were growing in $5,000 to $10,000 per year in passive income, if my passive income was growing a little bit each year, and I got to where it got to, even if it took me 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, however much time that was super powerful, because then that would give me the ability to work if I want to leave if I don't want to. A lot of people, and maybe you don't understand this as well, if you had a health issue, how would you be able to cover things? Would you be able to hand your business over to someone else? Would you be able to have enough things to cover your kids to go to college and all that stuff? And that's why, again, cash flow is so valuable, because it's your money is working for you rather than you working for it. So again, how you get more cash flow is you find great cash flowing deals. How you do that is you go to networking events, you go to conferences, you talk with other passive investors, you say what's working, what's not working. We've got some unique deals that came out with, and there's a lot of word of mouth. Somebody will tell this person, hey, we had a great experience with these guys, let's hear about this. Or maybe they talk about another group, hopefully never our group, but talk about another group saying, hey, don't invest with those guys, that was a terrible experience. I won't drop any names here on this video, but we all have experiences, and I invest passively too. There's groups that I would absolutely recommend, and there's groups that I would say never invest with these guys, right? So I think that's really important. When you talk to the people, you can learn from their experiences as well. So I would say always show a preference in your deals. I mean, we have high upside deals as well, but if you can have cash flow, it's huge. And that's one thing I love about our ATM deal is that it's the most consistent cash flowing deal that I've seen. It pays out every single month, starting month 4, at least on a preferred return. And it just pays out like clockwork. I mean, the operator has not missed a monthly payment in over 10 years of doing it. And so I was a little skeptical at first, but the more I've been involved with it, the more excited I am about it. So the conclusion of all this is, I think passive income is way better than just having gobs of money in the bank. Obviously, if you have gobs of money in the bank, you can kind of do with what you want, but it's a very different feeling knowing that you have the intellectual capital that you can create more wealth, right? That you can take this money and you can make more money. A lot of people that are wealthy, that inherited or got it given, or maybe they had a business, they have no idea how to make more money with their money. And that's really where financial freedom comes from. I heard Robert Kiyosaki say this one time at an event. He says, being wealthy is not having or not having, but it's basically if you had everything and you lost everything, that you can very quickly make it back. And where does that come from, right? It comes from your connections, your relationships, and your own intellectual capital to know how to create cash flow in your life. So I hope that's really my hope for you, is that you are able to create lots and lots of cash flow for yourself, your family, really leave a legacy to others. And that's really what we're passionate about doing. So I want to share this quote with you. It's really great. It comes from, actually from Robert Kiyosaki. And it says, it's easier to invest for cash flow during a financial crisis Don't waste a good crisis by hiding your head in the sand. The longer the crisis lasts, the richer some people will become. So I wanted to share this because we've been at a time where there's been some uncertainty in the financial markets. There's been a lot of stuff that I think this will only continue the next few years. And it's just really important to pay attention to opportunities that there, a lot of people are saying, hey, I'm going to wait. The confused mind will say to wait. I think it's a great time to look for opportunities, to find the right opportunities. Don't get killed by inflation. Don't get killed by analysis paralysis. Take action and go for it. I want to share this with you. This is a video. This is my three favorite investments right now. Check that out. And if you haven't joined our investment club, check out the link in the bottom. You heard about the awesome deals we're doing. And if you would do me a big favor, this really helps our group. If you can make a comment down below in this video, we're going to look at all the comments for this month. We're going to give out a $100 Amazon gift card to somebody who makes a comment based on what video you think I should make. So the best kind of comment for that, we're going to give you a $100 gift card and talk about you by name on this video next month. So thanks for taking the time to educate yourself. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.